Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone to the January installment of the 2021 Craft Vault Collab hosted by Poet Spice. This collab is all about creating projects with older items in our craft stash. There are a number of talented collaborators in this collab who will be creating projects with all sorts of mediums from their craft stash. And I do have links in the description box below so you can easily find these other collaborators, so make sure you do open up the description box to find them. And then just so you guys know that this is a year-long collab and all of our videos will be posted on the third Friday of each month, so get ready to be inspired to use up your craft stash. And so I decided to go through my stash and kind of clean up in December to kind of look for some different items that I maybe haven't used in my craft stash that have been in there for a while. And the first thing I came across was I had two sets of these gorgeous, they're kind of a turquoise mint green flowers from Maya Road. And these probably have been in my stash for quite a while. My local craft store that sells them put it into her inventory in November of 2015. And since it looks like I purchased them at 50% off, it was probably the next year, 2016, that I would have purchased these. And I know that these have been in my stash for quite a while. So I decided to start with this and then go through the rest of my stash to see what I had that would match these so I could use something that had been in my craft vault for a long time. And so I started with this main item. And then from there, I did find the paper pad that matched this flower the best was this Prima marketing pad, and it's called Flirty Fleur, I think. And I received this one, I know, back in 2019 from my dear friend Shonda, who is Slim Cards. And she and I met up in Vegas when I was down there on a trip with my husband, and we exchanged birthday gifts because we both have birthdays in October. And she gifted this to me, and I hadn't used it, so this was the first time I used it. And then she also gifted me at that time in 2019 the chipboard pieces that match it. And I did use quite a bit of this paper pad, so I'm really happy. It's kind of one of those pads that I kind of had in my hoard vault, but I decided it matched so nicely and I really wanted to use it with this flower. So that was my main theme for working with some older items in my craft stash. And I'll show you guys what I created. So I ended up making 3 composition notebooks, and I also know that all these notebooks that came from my stash have been in my stash for a long time. Several years ago, I came across at Walmart at the end of the school season, they had a ton of the composition notebooks, and they were next to nothing. I think they were $1 each, and I bought a whole bunch of them, and I still have quite a few left to alter. But I decided to use those to alter, and I created 3 composition notebooks. They're all very similar, so I'm only going to point out the differences with each one when I get to them. But I did decorate the fronts and the backs using that Prima paper collection. And I also went through my stash of laces and trims, and I picked items that I have had in there for a while or have never used. This black particular lace has been in my stash for a long time, and I had several rolls of that, so I was able to use up 1 roll of this particular one. And then same with, I'm not sure how long this mint green or the turquoise one and this other black lace have been in my stash, but quite a while. And so this is the first one, and I use the chipboard pieces here. I also use any flowers that have been in my stash for over 6 months. And same with the silver leaves. And I also had some flat back, not pearls, but little gems. And these I think came from Charlize's Crafty Corner quite a while ago. In something that she had gifted me, and they matched perfectly. They kind of picked up the little bit of silver that was in the little Prima chipboard pieces. And again, all the papers other than the cardstock is from the Prima paper, and the cardstock also has been in my stash for a long time. I did decorate the inside and make a pocket so that the person I'm gifting this to can use the pocket for receipts or whatever they want. And I also decorated the inside of the back cover. And so the inside of each cover is slightly different on each of the notebooks. And then I also varied some of this whatever white trim that I put around the tops. And then also possibly on the bottoms on the back side varied slightly just depending upon what I had in my stash. I tried to use up smaller snippet pieces that would still fit. And so that's the first one. This one does have kind of a rosette trim with pearls on it. And the next one, again, pretty much exactly the same, just a slight different variation in the chipboard pieces. And then this trim right here is a trim and it has the pearls at the bottom. And on the back side I used that same pearl trim. And the inside cover of this one is very similar, just this background piece of paper was different, but the same paper from the pocket. And I had tried to use the same paper that I cut up here just so I could use it up so I wouldn't have less scraps. And then the last one I created is this one, and I had just a little bit of this trim right here, and I thought this was so pretty with the rhinestones on it. So I did use that, and then I also used some more of that trim with the pearls at the bottom. And I had enough to cover both of the sides, but I didn't have enough to put it at the top and the bottom. It was just a little piece, and I think I still have a little snippet of that one left. And the inside of this one, I used this particular paper from the Prima paper pad. And so that is my projects for this month. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks again, everybody, so much for watching today. I hope you were inspired to use a couple of your items from your craft vault and use up some of your crafty stash. Again, don't forget to open up that description box below to check out the other collaborators to see what they have created this month. And hopefully I will see you guys all back here next month for another installment of the Craft Vault collab with Poet Spice. So until then, have a wonderful day and happy crafting.